motion?
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion. We have a motion by Vice President Green, second by Director Stewart. Can I have a roll call vote, please?
President Webb?
Yes.
Vice President Lennon?
Yes.
Director Ben Stewart?
Yes.
Director Alfred Wallace?
Yes.
Dr. Greg Webb?
Yes.
For the record show that there was a 5-0 vote. There was a 5-0 vote to come out of closed session. I don't. At 6:01, 6:05. At this time, we'll continue and we'll open the meeting up for our general session. At this time, I'll read the public comments. It says, any member of the public may address the board on any matter within the district's jurisdiction that is not on the agenda. However, any non-agenda matter will be referred to staff for report action at a subsequent board meeting, and no action may be taken on any such item discussed unless the action has been authorized under 54954.2 Boy of the Government Code. Any person may also address the board on any agenda matter at the time the matter is discussed prior to board's consideration or action. Speakers are requested to limit their comments to 5 minutes. At this time now, it's 8:03, and I'll open the floor for public comments.
Hearing none, I'll make mine. This is Byron Glennon, a citizen in the community of Rosamond. Again, this evening I am reading some thoughts that were communicated by my father at a public meeting some 70 years ago. The following are points he felt needed to be enforced by board policies, specifically the school board policies. I've modified them a bit to fit Rcsd. There's about 8 of them, but I'm only going to give you 4 tonight. Assign responsibility to each employee of the district. Consequently, the competency of each employee can be objectively determined. Interpret effectively the needs of the district to community groups and individuals. Resist the day-to-day demands of individuals and groups who seek preferential treatment by this board. Devote more time to study current water and sewer needs and find satisfactory solutions. More on the board policies at our next regular meeting.
Thank you, Vice President Gordon. Is there anyone else that would like to have the floor for public comments? We're hearing none. It's 6:05. We close public comments. We'll move down to voluntary public roll call via teleconference. Any member of the public on teleconference who wishes to identify themselves as present for this meeting, please do so on the minutes of the records. We open the floor for anyone with voluntary roll call.
Thank you. John Joyce reporting for the Rosamond News.
Good evening, Mr. Joyce.
Good evening.
Is there anyone else? Hearing no one else, it's 6:05, correction, folks. Sorry for that. 6:05, I close it. I go down to minutes M1. Approve the October 27th, 2021 regular board meetings. May I get a motion?
So moved, Director Glennon.
We have a motion by Director Glennon. May I get a second?
Second, Director Wood.
Second, we have a motion by Vice President Glennon. We have a second by Director Wood. May I get a roll call vote, please?
President Webb?
Yes.
Vice President Lennon?
Yes.
Director Ben Stewart?
Yes.
Director Alfred Wallace?
Yes.
Dr. Greg Webb?
Yes.
The record reflects a 5-0 vote for the approval of M1, the October 27th board minutes. Let's move down to consent calendar. We have CC1, approve the check voucher register from 10/19/2021 to 11/8/2021. May I get a motion, please?
Mr. President, I have an amendment to that date, 10/19/2021 to 2021.
Okay, so we're correcting the second part of it it will be not 11-08, 11-08-21, be 11-01.
Correct.
Okay. Can I have a motion to approve the check voucher register dated 10-19-21 to 11-01-2021?
So moved, Director Glenn.
You have a motion by Director Glenn, and I have a second.
Second, Director Wood.
Yes. We have a motion by Vice President Glenn, and we have a second by Director Wood. Now get a roll call vote, please.
President Request,
Yes.
Vice President Margolin,
Yes.
Director Beth Stewart,
Yes.
Director Alfred Wallace,
Yes.
Director Greg Wood.
Yes.
The records reflect that for CC1, approval of the check voucher dated 10-19-2021 to 11-01-2021, a 5-0 approval. Let's go down to presentations, and we have PR1, Water Reclamation Plan Update, and our presenter is Brock Smith. Brock, are you there?
Yes, sir. Good evening. How are you?
Good evening, sir. You have the floor. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you. There's no progress to report at the wastewater treatment plant tonight. The contractor has been on site for the past 2 weeks. They are waiting for vendors to supply the equipment and parts necessary for the completion of the plant. I look forward to providing a better update at the next board meeting.
Fair enough, sir. Hey, Brock, a question on that there. I know that you keep hearing supply chain holdups. Has that really impacted us a whole bunch as a whole out there at the plant, getting things done? That hasn't caught up with us yet?
It has not had a major effect on the majority of the plant, but unfortunately, this is only as strong as its weakest link, so one delayed part can cause a major delay on the plant. And what we're seeing right now is delays on electrical components, breakers, and control panels. So that's what we're waiting for at this time.
Okay.
They're hard to get.
I have a question, Mr. President.
Go ahead, Greg.
Just a thought that, do you think it would be beneficial because of the supply chain issues and some of the reports coming out that it could, go into next year, things like that, that even if we don't need the parts right now, that maybe it might be to bring it back to the board for approval to make purchases, if that's necessary, to get parts ordered now, considering it could be a month-long delay of getting parts, and if we don't find ourselves in a situation to where we've got a breakdown and we can't get the plant back up online.
Absolutely. It's a great suggestion. Staff has been working with the vendors throughout the startup and certification process to develop a recommended spare parts list. Some of those were supplied as part of the construction contract, so we do have some spare parts. What we're seeing now is parts that were either shipped incorrectly or malfunctioned from the factory, and that's what we're waiting for. But definitely your suggestion is a great suggestion, and we should be prepared for these delays moving forward.
Yeah, because, we just don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. But, normally when you're planning on your maintenance and things like that, I know that you'll look at parts where they usually have like a 4-month wait to get them. That 4-month wait could turn into 8 months or 12 or even longer right now until they get things straightened out. So if I would just like, if you need to bring it back to the board to get approval for money that we weren't planning on spending right now, then I would ask you to.
Thank you. We will.
Any other directors or comments or questions of the Public Works Manager? Okay, let's move on to PR number 2, and that's the building expansion project update, and the General Manager, Steve Perez, presented. Go ahead, Steve, you have the floor.
Yes, as budgeted, we have started contacting potential and prospective infected to a point where we cannot serve the district. So hats off to everybody that has taken this serious, and so we can continue to serve the community. But the natural disasters and health disasters alike, we have in many of our disaster preparedness meetings that we've had, we feel that it's necessary to move forward on this because it appears that more and more we're getting hit by the unknown. And we need to be prepared to not be complacent so we can serve the community. It would be terrible if we had a natural disaster and had a broken main line or have a tank go down or pumps go down and not be able to serve the community with water. So part of our preventive measures have been addressing how we respond with equipment, with like Greg just mentioned, spare parts. We've got spare parts in the operations portion of the district, so we don't have to run out every time there's a problem. We have those on hand so we can address those issues. So I just wanted to update the board that we're moving forward. We will be going out at some point with an RFP or bid proposals for prospective developers and firms to start the process of the engineering and architecture. We have done preliminary architecture, should save us about 70% of the cost for them to do the architecture because it's already completed. So that part is going to be good for us to be able to give to them a starting place. So I just wanted to update the district. One other important thing is we're running out of space for records, and part of the expansion is to house our records in-house, and we're paying storage fees everywhere. We've got records everywhere, and we need to bring them home and have them on site, and we need more space. So,
speaking to supply chain, that's been several years back, but I called John out telling us that we saved significant money because we had pipe in stock, and the pipes that we bought were quite a bit cheaper than it would have cost to do the project. I don't remember what project it was, but he had made the comment we don't have to buy any pipe because we have all the pipe in stock. Right, saved us money on that project.
we try to anticipate the necessary in the event that we have a main leak. We had a main leak at 8 years or so back, if you recall, and they were able to isolate it and get the water turned on in several hours. And part of that was because we had that big pipe in stock. We had several pieces and fitting to go along with it. Otherwise, it could have been a day or so to get that rounded up.
And it's not just that, but the cost will continually go up.
Absolutely.
You know.
Yep.
And I know, I was going to say, I know Brad means that we have to count them. More things when we're doing our assessment. You know,
Our inventory?
Yeah, our inventory, but that's okay.
Yep.
Well, Steve, as far as the starting this year, I think it's it's well overdue for you. You're right, the district's growing, and that's one of the things we had talked about, that record retention and having a place for it. So I think that as we move forward, once done properly, I think we'll have enough space for everything, and we'll move forward with it. So thank you for the update. With that, let's move on down to Director's comments. And Director Wood, you have the floor, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'd like to say that the engineering committee met, and as you're all aware, before the pandemic, PE PFOA was kind of the talk of the town. We were hearing about it at all of our seminars, and we'd actually held some workshops on it. And since the pandemic started, it kind of wasn't mentioned anymore. You didn't hear about it in the news or anything like that. But even though that happened, the state of California has still been moving forward on regulations and testing procedures and everything else. So the engineering committee met because we felt it was time to dust off the PFOS and PFOA discussion and get in there and start getting ourselves prepared as an agency for whenever the state of California makes their final decision. So there's not a lot to report on that right now, but the committee is working on that, and we're being diligent about getting all the information we need, so we are prepared as an agency when that time comes down the road. And that's all I had to report.
Thank you, Director Wood.
If I might add a comment to that, we just saw that the state issued a directive that they're going to be revisiting the Chrome 6 issue, and some of the MCLs that they're being proposed is 1 through 10, 11 through 15, and 15 through 25, or the numbers I might have wrong, but or they're real close, as I didn't bring it into the chamber with me. But suffice it to say, we need to start pushing for a real MCL. As you're aware, the MCL for Chrome 6 right now is on the federal level is still at 50. It's still at 50 as far as I know, currently in the state, because they didn't do a few things correctly, but they're trying to get it below 10. And what that means to the ratepayers is significant cost to clean that up. And they just keep moving the numbers down, and driving the cost up. So on the federal level, why is it okay at 50? And then the local level, it has to be down below 10. It doesn't make sense, just like the arsenic. Yeah.
Well, Steve, I know what's the problem here. Right hand's not talking to left hand, and we're stuck in the middle.
Yep.
Okay, let's go ahead next. Director Stewart, you have the floor, sir.
I don't have anything that good.
Okay. Director Wallace?
I don't have anything.
Director Glennon?
I have a couple things. First, in the paper today, Palmdale Water District, their budget goes from January to January, and they're just finishing up their budget, and they are proposing a 4.6% COLA to their employees. 4.6% COLA. That's the highest it's been in a long time. Tomorrow's Veterans Day, and I don't know if we've got employees who are veterans, but I would encourage our general manager to seek out and congratulate them or give the board appreciation to them being a veteran. And today is actually the birthday of the Marine Corps. It was established in 1775. And this is their 246th birthday. I wasn't in the Marine Corps. I was in the Navy, but I was a corpsman, and I spent about a year at Camp Pendleton with the Marines. I don't know if we have employees that are veterans, but it would be nice if we found out and somehow acknowledge them tomorrow at work.
They had a special ceremony at school today, and the Corps, Charlie's in charge of, they called every veteran's name. They went to school there.
They went to school there?
Yes.
Okay. Did they say my name?
If you
to the eighth grade there. I didn't go to high school. There was no high school. There was no high school there. You flunked out after the eighth grade? There was no high school there. Yeah, my wife, she went to AV too. Yeah, I went to AV. Yeah. That's all I have.
Thank you, Andrew. Okay, thank you. Monday we had a meeting for water efficiency, and I just like to share with other board members and also the community. We've been talking about conservation, and the GM and staff now we're starting to look at a different part of the conservation effort, overall water efficiency. So in weeks to come, the general manager will be putting some information out on it. But what I'd like to do is let the community know that these folks have done a wonderful job, and we at the district appreciate the effort because we're constantly getting a moving target about water saving, and you're doing a good job. The district's making adjustments as they can, and the efforts have not gone unnoticed, but the GM is working on some things now to present to the community, and we don't know the exact timeline yet, but it's something that's forthcoming. And also, I remember as a little kid, they used to always say, the freedom you have now, you should think of veterans. So I want to thank you, Byron, and all the other veterans. And like I said, we're very fortunate to live in a place where we can have the freedom to think of veterans. So, guys, I thank you very much, and ladies, for keeping us safe here and giving us the possibilities to do what we do. With that, let's move on down to the General Manager's report. I'm sorry, General Counsel. General Counsel, you have anything for us?
Nothing to report.
General Manager, Steve, you have the floor?
Yeah, it kind of ties into your last point in regard to water efficiency. I got a notice at the end of the day today that Met has declared a state of emergency in their water. They're calling on all of their entities that use water from Met to step up their conservation efforts and everything like that, and they're anticipating the state to issue a zero allocation of water here shortly for next year. But that number, although it's scary at zero, it will be determined at this point between now and probably April, depending on how much snow we get in the Sierras and how much water we get from rain. So, although if we get a lot of water in the form of rain, we won't have solved the drought problem because it's the aquifers that suffer when it's this long, and it takes a long time to get them built back up. So, Rosamond, you've been doing a great job up to this point. We have driven around the state and seen those that have not been taking it serious, and maybe this directive from Met will start changing that around the state. And that's the end of my comment.
Okay, thank you, Steve. Assistant Manager update, Lizette Valero.
Yes, good evening. We started working on the billing system conversion, and we expect it to be completed in the spring. In our dialogue with the company, we're also exploring other means for customers to make their payments, such as by text. So as we continue to get more ideas, we'll bring them to the board for informational purposes. That's all I have to report.
Okay, thank you very much. Public Works update, John Hauser, Blocksmith, Eagle.
You have Brock again. Since the last board meeting, Public Works staff has cleaned 9,600 feet of sewer mains. They've treated and inspected 58 sewer manholes, repaired 4 service line leaks, replaced 2 angle stop valves, replaced 1 mainline blow-off valve, and removed graffiti at multiple locations near Webb Park. And that concludes the update.
No rest for the weary, huh, Brock?
Never. Hard to hit a moving target.
Yes, it is, sir. Okay. prior to adjournment, is anything else from the GM of the board that anyone would like to bring up before we adjourn? Okay, may I get a motion on the floor to adjourn, for an adjournment?
So moved, Director Glennon.
And we have a motion by Vice President Glennon. May I get a second?
Second, Paulus.
We got a motion by Vice President Glennon, a second by Director Wallace. Now roll call vote, please.
President Rickliff,
Yes.
Vice President Mark Lennon,
Yes.
Director Ben Stewart,
Yes.
Director Alfred, Director Fred Wood,
Yes.
Will the record show that 5-0 vote for adjournment? Now 6:28 and we're adjourned. Good night, everyone.
Good night.